Mother's Day is almost here. Well, Steven Singer Jewelers wants to help you tell moms in your life every single day how appreciated they are. He's introducing his brand new limited edition 24 karat gold dipped blue moon rose for Mother's Day. Skip the flowers that die in a week. These last forever. Steven Singer Jewelers signature gold dipped roses. They're real roses dipped in real 24 karat gold, and they're guaranteed to last a lifetime. Give her something she can look at and remember how loved she is all year long. Picture a brilliantly blue rose, bright blue rose with diamond-like sparkles. Blue roses symbolize rarity and admiration, which makes it the perfect gift to honor moms. This forever gift is a real long-stemmed rose, and it's dipped in 24 karat pure gold. I don't know how they do it. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Terminator 2, I guess, but he does it. Steven has his full lifetime guarantee. It comes to you in an impressive gift box and your own personal Mother's Day note. Shipping's always complimentary. That means free, yes. Order now exclusively at IHateStevenSinger.com. Hurry, because these will not be restocked and supplies are limited. Nothing says I love you like a real authentic Steven Singer 24 karat gold dipped rose that lasts forever. Only available from Steven Singer Jewelers in Philly or online at IHateStevenSinger.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Yippee! Taxi! Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We're talking conspiracies tonight. Not in the way most radio shows cover conspiracies. I just don't know. I want to know what the people are thinking about, because there's so many out there, some that make sense, some that are completely out of control. But it seems a lot of people do believe that there are things going on that we're being lied to about, and what the motivation is, if it's true or not, if it's kind of true, mostly true. I don't know. Who the hell am I to say? This is, I love the name and the place, Anthony from Long Island. Anthony, what's up, my friend?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for the program. I just wanted to trailer on to what your last guest, prior to the young lady you had from ultrafree.com.
Yes.
Dick Cheney in 2001, Dick Cheney had been under investigation for embezzling $500 million as CEO of Halliburton. And he conspired with Arthur Anderson, as well did a great many other big tech, as Eisenhower warned us, beware the military-industrial congressional complex. And, it was just quite an irony that him as vice president had his finger on the switch and stopped the interceptors that would have stopped those planes from being hijacked. On August 23rd, there was a French stuntman, Terry Dew, had gotten caught on the Statue of Liberty. He tried to hang a banner off of the torch.
I remember that.
Protesting landmines.
Yep.
And the police brought him in. And, planes were scrambled within 15 minutes of that event. And they said that they were going to shoot him out of the sky because they had been, the FAA had been on the highest level because they were expecting a terrorist attack on American landmarks. And then it was but 19 days later that 9/11 transpired. Now, these are just facts. The only conspiracy I know of is the official narrative given us by the government itself.
That's the conspiracy, right.
Sandy Berger had gone into the National Archives 6 or 7 times stealing documents. If you go to the Chicago Tribune for August 21st, 2021, you'll see where recordings from the air traffic controllers on the morning of 9/11 were trashed 7 months later, even though they were mandated to save all evidence, and yet they found it necessary to burn some tapes.
Well, Anthony, what is their like plausible deniability? Did they say we needed to destroy those because this amount of time we burn our records? How do they explain it without it sounding like this was part of the whole thing?
Well, the supervisor that did it was supposedly to be reprimanded or been penalized for what he did. but there was no explanation as to why 7 months later he would destroy those tapes. And they were the recordings that were taken that morning of 9/11. And the one air traffic controller had said on the tapes that they had over an hour and a half lead time because he had realized that the first plane had been hijacked before it left the runway because the transponder had been turned off. So therefore they had an hour and a half, and yet there was a stand down order. He contacted NORAD 3 times in a row because they were not responding as was standard protocol. So somebody had changed the protocols. And I think it all came back to the Cheney Bush White House had interfered in what would have been a normal procedure because, you know, even if a pilot gets gassed or anything happens, they would just out of sheer practice scramble jets. And yet on 9/11, like I said, Terry Dew, they responded 10 days earlier as was by protocol. But 19 days later, they stood down.
Now, Anthony, do you believe that there were people in the planes and they did crash into the buildings?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Because there are people that don't even believe that. Now, do you also think that, now, hindsight, 2020, do you think even if they had scrambled planes, that they would have downed planes that were packed with American citizens?
No, but the pilots would have had methods to redirect those aircraft. But the fact that they didn't respond as was standard protocol for the last 50, 75 years since the FAA was established. So there was interference in that activity, and it just didn't make up. And then you have building number 7 collapsed. They reported it's collapsed a half hour before it actually
thermite
collapsed,
paint. We all know it was thermite. That's what it was.
And
people had come in and painted the walls with thermite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of files.
Anthony's very serious
regarding Enron, Arthur Anderson.
It's a giant building in New York City. I can't imagine there's one building, especially in the financial district. I can't imagine any building doesn't have records that you could look at and go, wow, that's kind of important, or that implicates this person or this company or this government entity. So, like, it doesn't mean that because there were government documents or things that might have been incriminating in that building, that's why it was demolished, if that was the case.
Well, the irony of it was that was Mayor Giuliani's control command center, yet nobody was manning the command center, which didn't make any sense. He was downtown or something.
It was a crazy day. It was a crazy day there, Anthony.
There are so many things that just do not make sense,
I get you. But that's part of what
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make dollars?
Yes, and then that's it. Follow the money. Eisenhower's farewell address to the nation.
Oh, I know.
The military-industrial congressional complex.
Exactly.
And I do believe that that's where we are.
Anthony, thank you so much. Exactly
what
we're talking about here this evening.
Great program.
Are they real? Thank you, man. Are they real? Are they not? Do you trust the government? Do you not? Is it 100% one way, 100% the other way? I don't know. Joaquin from Pennsylvania. What's up?
Hey, good evening there, Mr. Cumia.
Good evening to you.
You'll never guess what my grandchildren call me.
Opie? What do you got, red hair?
Yeah, No, I don't. I'm Opal, but they call me Opie.
Okay, adorable. What's up?
So anyway, one explanation for a lot of this stuff is that the history of this world has been one of people conquering and people being conquered, So
people don't like to believe that, or people don't like to realize that that's what it's been also. They get very angry at the conquerors of days gone by. And it's like, that was the way the world worked. So that's just the way it is. There are conquered people all over the world. Sorry. Anyway, continue, Joaquin.
Yes. Actually, I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory of my own as far as Signalgate goes.
Yeah.
I think that anybody who has close ties to Cheney really should be watched, at least closely or at a distance.
Well, who in Signalgate has ties to Cheney? Hedseth?
Okay, well, I'm not going to say a name, but I'll give you a hint.
What are you?
The special forces, the Green Berets, are trained. They have a special mission, and now there's one actually to overthrow, governments, to work behind enemy lines and things like that, and work hand in hand with the CIA.
Right.
So, anyway, so I'm going to leave it at that. But everything that's going on with
what could you, Joaquin, what could you possibly know that you don't want to say because it'll get out there? Like, see, you're a conspiracy, Joaquin. You're being conspiratorial.